People in this generation are different from people of previous generation. Previously, people would come to temple to ask for precepts. But now people want to start with wisdom development. If monks start by preaching about precepts, people will not want to listen. People possess knowledge, but don't apply it. People 30 to 40 years ago would come to the temple to uphold precepts. Which is a good starting point. People nowadays want to start with wisdom development or watching the mind. They hope they would gain enlightenment quickly, but they overlook the most important first lesson, which is precept. The second lesson is mind development for gaining right concentration. Then, the third lesson is wisdom development. Luang Pu Thates used to say that some branch of Buddhism focuses on wisdom too much. He was talking about Zen. Initially, Zen came into Thailand through several translated books. People read those books and think about wisdom, but neglect precept and concentration. They just say everything is empty, no attachments. So Luang Pu said that their weakness is missing precept and concentration. However, I have to note that the Zen that came in was in the form of books only. Luang Pu said that wisdom without concentration and precept is not correct. If someone just aimed to develop wisdom, they could be overconfident in themselves. Like those who study texts too much, they could be overconfident and look down on others. So when we study, we have to study according to the right sequence. The right sequence doesn't mean we have to uphold precepts for many years, and then practice meditation for many years, and then develop wisdom. The right sequence means upholding the precepts to make our mind normal. Precept is just maintaining the normal state of mind. Not being normal is the mind being influenced by anger, ignorance, restlessness, sadness, etc. In such cases, the mind loses its normal good balance. The mind by itself is bright and radiant. But it is tarnished by passing defilements, causing it to be abnormal. When our mind is abnormal, we think, speak, and act wrongly. That's why we have to uphold the precepts to keep our mind in the normal state. The best way to keep our precept is to have mindfulness guarding our mind. Whenever desire, anger, delusion arises in our mind, be aware of them Keep being aware like this. And desire, anger, delusion can't take over our mind. Then our mind won't think wrongly. People think wrongly due to defilements that tarnish their mind. People get angry, commit revenge, adultery or robbery. Because of defilements have taken over their mind, leading to wrong thought. Wrong thought is called mikasakapa. So, if we have mindfulness to take care of our mind, our thoughts will be right. Whenever defilement arises, just be aware of it. Whenever bad thought under the influence of defilement arises, just be aware of it and it will go away. Then our thought will be right. Once our thought is right and not under the influence of defilement, then our speech and action will be right. I'm not speaking of this process myself. In the Buddha's teaching, the Eightfold Path is also taught in this sequence. The first step is right view. First, we need the correct theory to guide our Dharma practice. We don't practice for gaining wealth, fame, cleverness or anything, but we practice for cessation of suffering. We can cease suffering by learning about suffering, its cause, its cessation. And the practice for cessation of suffering, this is learning and having the right theory to guide our path. Dithi is a Pali term, while the Sanskrit equivalent is theory. In Thai language, these two words became the root for two separate meanings. What we need is the right theory to guide us. That we're practicing for cessation of suffering and nothing else. We don't practice for good luck or wealth or good health, but we practice for cessation of suffering. The mind is the one who suffers. Sometimes our body doesn't get sick yet, but our mind already suffers. The mind suffers because of thinking. When bad thoughts arise, the mind struggles. So, once we have the correct theory to guide our practice, we have to think correctly. If we think wrongly, it's the starting point for other wrong actions. Some people know that. Their thought is the cause for wrong speech and wrong action. And wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action lead to suffering. So they try not to think. However, this is not the Buddhist's way. The mind has the natural tendency to think and fabricate. We can't order it to stop. Its very nature is non-self. It is uncontrollable. We just need to have mindfulness, just be aware of our thought, and whether the force behind a thought is wholesome or unwholesome. Is our mind thinking due to greed, anger, or ignorance? Just be aware of the driving force behind our thought. Whilst we're aware of the defilements, they can't take over our mind, and we won't have unwholesome thought, speech and action. The way to have right thought is to be aware of the factors that are behind our thought. The perfection of right thought will lead to full right speech, right action, right livelihood. if we're aware of our mind and our thought. We won't think and talk under the influence of defilements. Therefore, our action and livelihood won't be under the influence of defilements. This is the sequence of the Noble Path. As a result from having mindfulness and having no wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action, wrong livelihood, this will lead to decline of existing unwholesomeness. This will lead to growth of wholesomeness and development of new ones. Right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood. All contributes to right effort. There are 4 components in the right effort. Relinquishing existing unwholesomeness and preventing new ones. Growing existing wholesomeness and developing new ones. These are the 4 right efforts. Outside of these 4 efforts, it's not effort within the Noble Path. But it's something else, such as effort in work or any other effort. So it's not only effort, but right effort, which is the effort to relinquish existing unwholesomeness and preventing new ones, growing existing wholesomeness and developing new ones. This is called right effort. While other efforts in daily work or something else is not right effort, right effort starts from correct understanding that we need to develop precept, concentration and wisdom until our mind can be free from suffering. Once we know the right theory, then we start our practice by having mindfulness and watching what is behind our thought. If we can do so, our thought will be clean. Our speech and our action will also be clean. Our livelihood will also be right. We won't cheat or hurt others for our living. Then, existing unwholesomeness will reduce, and new ones won't arise. Existing wholesomeness will grow and new ones will develop. At the point that we're aware of the factor behind our thought. This is the true starting point for our practice in my view. Dharma practice is not about sitting or walking meditation, but it's about improving ourselves with precept, taking care of our speech, action and livelihood. Then, our concentration will improve. Our mind will be neutral, not be pushed by defilements to run around like a dog. When our mind is neutral, it will also be calm. This is not difficult to understand. Precept assists the development of concentration. Without precept, concentration degrades, because the mind will be restless. We can look at Devadatta as an example. Initially, he had exceptionally good concentration. He also had a lot of good past deeds. Otherwise, he couldn't have gone against the Buddha. He had good past deeds, but he was envious. He wanted to become a leader and tried to harm the Buddha. He wanted to lead the religion and tried to compete against the Buddha. So he lured Prince Achard Sudtru to kill his own father and take over the throne. Once Achard Sudtru became a king, Devadatta even had greater power over the king and tried to use that power to overcome the Buddha. As he did so many bad things, his concentration degrades. But it took a long time to degrade because of his past good deeds. By the time he had no more power, no more follower, he was already old. Only then he realized his mistake. He wanted everything, so he lost everything. Then he tried to go meet the Buddha to confess his mistake. But his bad karma finally caught up to him before he met the Buddha. He did the two worst misdeeds, creating schism in the monastic community and wounding the Buddha. Therefore, he lost all concentration and had hell as his destination. So precept is of great importance. Without it, don't even think about right concentration and wisdom development. The way to have good precept is to be aware of the driving factor behind our thought, whether it's wholesome or unwholesome. But sometimes it's difficult to see. For example, when people invite us to build a temple or build a Buddha statue, it's definitely a merit to participate, but it may not reach the level of wholesomeness. For example, if we don't notice our mind, we may do merit and wish to be rich as a result. This is greed behind our action. Then, our merit is not 100% clean. There's no awareness of our own mind, no wisdom. We don't have the guiding theory to guide our practice, that our practice is for liberation. Not for richness or handsomeness. So if we do merit, but wish for other things in return, we still get merit, but not much, because it's tainted with defilement, greed. In the historical archive of Myanmar, there's a story about Prince Paul Lao Kandao, whose name sounds like a Thai name. Prince Paul Kyun was angry because his father had many consorts, but neglected his mother, causing a lot of anguish to her. One day, he went to visit his father, but another consort was with him. According to royal practice, he should pay respect to the consort. But he didn't want to, so the king forced him to pay respect. The prince was very angry, so finally he bit off a finger and paid respect, with only the 9 remaining fingers. The king saw this and got very angry. He thought this prince was too ferocious, and ordered the prince to be executed. While the executioner was taking the prince out for execution, the prince asked for a short break to visit the Shwemo Door Pagoda. This pagoda still stands to this day in the city of Bago. He went to pay respect there and put down his crown as an offering. He asked to be reborn as another city's prince, to come back and destroy his father's city. This karma sent his to be reborn as an Ava prince. And indeed came back to fight against his former father. C. Doing merit with a mind that's tainted with anger leads to an incomplete merit. So, whenever we do any merit, do it with a true selfless mind. We have to be aware of the driving factor behind our thought. If we want to build a temple or a Buddha statue, what is the driving factor behind it if we do such merit as an offering to the Buddha? Not for ourselves. This is great and we can get the full merit. But if we want other things from such merit, this is just getting a small merit, since there's no mindfulness or wisdom. In such cases, we don't understand that material wealth has no significance. Even if we have a lot, we can only consume a limited amount. Even if we have millions of dollars, we can only eat a few plates of food per meal. So we have to be aware of the factor behind our thought. Then our speech and action will be right. Our livelihood will also improve. Some people do shrimp or fish farming, so they have to kill the animal for sale. But after they listen to Dharma, their mind can become better. When they see the fish or the shrimp, they will feed them with the mind that is merciful. Or some people raise cows for milk. But after the cows get older, they have to sell the cows to slaughterhouse. Dairy cows are only raised as long as they're useful. Once they get old, they normally get slaughtered for meat. The mind that used to practice will be aware of its own defilement. It'll look at the fishes or the cows with mercy. When mercy arises in their mind, they're going to start thinking how to live their lives in the way that doesn't hurt other pitiful animals. When they're aware of the defilements and defilements can't take over, then mercy is going to arise instead. When mercy arises, they're going to think of changing their livelihoods to something that doesn't hurt others, and they'll also be more happy. Maybe they won't be as rich as previously, but they'll live a happier life with no regrets. To kill animals as a habit is something to avoid. I've heard of the case of a father who has 3 daughters. He loves his daughters a lot. His wife was dead. But he didn't find a new wife. He also raised many chickens. And every day he would kill one chicken when his friends came to visit his house. They would drink together and also play classical Thai instruments. He raised his children nicely and sent them for education. But he also killed one chicken every day to treat his friends. He also had another habit that whenever he sees ants walking in a long column, he couldn't resist to use his thumb to smash the ants. He especially liked black ants, because he thought that red ants may bite back. But black ants don't bite back so much, so, whenever he sees them, he would use his thumb to smash their whole column, just for fun, and he continued doing this for his whole life. He didn't have much other bad karma, only these karma with animals. In his old age, his daughters has built a cabin in his land and would invite monks to visit from time to time. As he got very sick in his old age, he moved into a modern hospital room. But one day in the hospital room, he suddenly got frantic and called the nurse and his daughters. He said that he saw a lot of ants walking in room, and they should all be killed. Even he was on his deathbed, but he was still accustomed with killing ants. At the time of death, there was an image in his mind. The mind will cut out all sensations in the body, only remaining the mentals working. As he was dying, there was an image in his mind of a tunnel. At the end of a tunnel was a chicken. A monk happened to be there with him in the hospital. And this monk knew the father's state of mind. This monk wasn't me. I don't have such ability to see or know so much. The monk saw that his mind was about to be reborn as a chicken. So the monk sent the power of good merits and his mind came back. Finally his mind moved away from the realm of animal, but reborn as an asura instead. All these have been retold to me by that monk. After his death, his youngest daughter and nephew who have been practicing Dharma sent power of good merits to the father. They have been doing merits and sitting meditation and sending these good merits for the father. One day, the daughter called the father to come accept these good merits by himself. Suddenly, a strong rotten smell filled the house. The daughter was startled and knew that she has made a mistake. So, she instead told his father that he didn't have to come, and she sent merits to him instead. So, we have to take care of our mind. The tainted mind won't go to a good destination, while a bright mind will go to a good destination. To take care of our mind, it starts with noticing our thought. When our thought is taken over by defilement, our speech and action are also taken over. For example, the person that I just talked about, he thought that killing chickens that he raised didn't offend any person. But he forgot that hurting chickens or any other animal also demerits. He also thought that killing ants wasn't against the law. This is unwholesome. It is an action from delusion, infringing others with delusion, from not knowing the law of karma. This is having the thought of violence. It violates others with delusion, not knowing what is right or wrong. So, we have to be aware of our mind. Whenever our mind thinks of something, is it thinking under the influence of desire or anger or delusion or not? As I told you in the case of the father, he killed animals without realizing that what he did was wrong. This is violating others unknowingly and is a case of delusion. The important thing is to be aware of our mind. Our mind keeps thinking the whole day, and we can't stop it. But be aware of what is behind our thoughts, especially before interaction with other people. Before we speak, before we act, before we touch others or hit others. For example, for monks, if people come to ask for blessing and the monk touch or bless them, with lust behind their action, this is definitely wrong. But if they touch men and bless women with pure intention, wishing for them to be happy with mercy, this is okay. When we hug cats and dogs, is it desire or just compassion behind our action? Almost 100% of the time it's desire. Who has cats? Please raise your hand. I see quite a lot of people raising cats. Some people abandon their cats here, so monks have to feed them and take care for them. But then they become food for snakes and monitor lizards. So don't abandon your pets here. They're unlikely to survive since there are many carnivores around. When we hug cats, then it's mostly desire arising and also love and attachment. Or when we see cute babies, not only our baby, but any cute baby, then it's mostly desire arising and also love and attachment. Keep noticing whenever we do anything. Supposing we're a waiter. When we see a customer that may give a lot of tips, we may put down the plates more softly. But if we see another person that we don't like, then we may put the plates down strongly. Why do we put some plates down softly and some plates strongly? What is behind our action? It started from our thought before showing in our action. If we notice our mind carefully, Dharma practice is not difficult. Our precept will be automatic. Defilements that we have will reduce. Wholesomeness will develop further. Being aware of the driving factor behind our thought will help develop our noble path. When our action, speech and livelihood is clean, unwholesomeness decline. Wholesomeness develops. This is having the right effort. Being aware of the driving factor behind our thought, speech and action also improves our mindfulness. So, with enough right effort, it also helps perfect our right mindfulness. First, we can be aware at the time defilement arises. If not, be aware when it affects our intention, speech, action. From then on, defilement has completely taken over. With practice, our mindfulness will be quicker. At first our mind gets lost for a long time, but later mindfulness will arise frequently. At first, we get lost in anger for a long time, or need strong anger to be aware of it, but later, we can be aware of just a small discontent. This is development of mindfulness, as we have more awareness. Defilements will wilter, but wholesomeness will flourish. Wholesomeness starts with mindfulness, then precepts. Concentration will also develop with improved mindfulness. Whenever defilements or wholesomeness arises, we'll be aware of it. This is the mindfulness in the foundation of the mind. Being aware of the mind, whether it has defilement or doesn't have. With more mindfulness practice, the mind will have more power and finally get to right concentration. While we see defilements arising and extinguishing, we get momentary concentration. But as we practice further, the mind gathers more power and gets to jhana. Even if we never get to jhana previously, just have right mindfulness and precept, and the mind will automatically gather power to enter jhana. The Buddha explained right concentration with jhana, not with momentary or access concentration. Even if we don't know how to enter jhana, just be aware of our own defilements, and our mind will gather more power. Finally, our mind will gather enough power and enter jhana without our intention. Several masters, such as Luang Pu Man, called this phenomena the great assemblage of the mind. This is the phenomenon where the mind gathers precept, concentration, and wisdom together. As we practice seeing defilements, we get mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. With sufficient practice, the mind gathers into the great assemblage, and the process of defilement cleansing arises. Initially we fight defilement with mindfulness, or sometimes concentration. For example, if we have lust, we can contemplate uncleanliness of the body. This is fighting it with concentration. But at the point which our mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom are ripe, the mind gathers and cleanses the underlying defilement. It cuts the fetter. Defilements bind our mind, trapping us in an endless cycle of birth and death across realms. This process is automatically done by the mind. No one can make the noble process arise. It arises by itself when precept, concentration, and wisdom are sufficient. For wisdom to be sufficient, first we need to have the right guiding theory that we practice for liberation from suffering. If defilements can still rule over our mind and fabricate our thought, speech, and action, this will lead to continuous suffering. But if we have mindfulness frequently, both our mind and mindfulness will get stronger. The mind will become upright, and wisdom will arise by seeing that all that arise extinguish. Initially we want our mind to get better, but as we practice, we see that the mind is not our self. There is no self. This is the wisdom that arises. Then the noble path arises at that moment. Precept, concentration, and wisdom all assemble together with the power of right concentration, which acts as a container. But the mind at that point must be really powerful with right concentration to hold all the good qualities together. The 37 aids to enlightenment sounds complex, but practice the way I just taught you and all these qualities will arise. All of them will assemble in our mind at the same instant. With the power of right concentration, and they will eradicate the defilements. This process will arise in 4 occasions. In the 4th time, the last defilement, which is not the noble truth, will be abolished. This is the path. So, from now on, let's practice diligently. Be aware of our own mind. And be aware of what's behind our thought, our speech, our action. To have mindfulness frequently is having the right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration in itself. Finally, the noble path will appear. But if we think, speak, act wrongly, and have unclean livelihood, this is having no right effort, no mindfulness, no concentration. So, practice the way I just taught you and your life will be peaceful. That is all for today. In the morning I just told Ajahn R that before preaching I would clear my mind and ask myself what topic I should teach on that day. Or sometimes I would ask myself after I come here in front of you. Today I also asked myself, and my mind told me that I should preach about precept. Our precept can be improved if we are aware of our thought, speech, action. When our precept is right effort. Right mindfulness and right concentration will automatically arise. Keep practicing diligently every day. Number 1.
Number 1. My mind is too stubborn and too restless to the point that I can't continuously watch my breath during practice. I see that the mind thinks by itself. During the day I practice mindfulness and see the mind, the bodies working, and my feelings. I see my defilements, and I think I can separate my aggregates, but I'm not sure if my mind is upright enough for wisdom development yet.
Aggregate separation is as the starting point of wisdom development. Only the mind with right concentration can separate the aggregates. But your concentration and aggregate separation wisdom are not yet stable. Sometimes you're able to separate them, but sometimes they combine together. You have to practice further to collect more wisdom and more concentration, but you're on the right path. Once your practice is correct, continue practicing until it's sufficient. For example, if your mind has rapture in Dharma, this is wholesome. Just be aware that your mind has changed and rapture has arisen. Don't focus into your mind intensely like that. It's wrong concentration and too stressful. You already know how to watch it with the normal mind. As you can separate the aggregates well. Now that you can separate them, just watch each aggregate working by itself. Not us, not ours. Keep watching it. And if your mind becomes restless, practice more concentration. You can do it by watching your breath or the posture of your body without thinking about wisdom. Just watch them and your mind will have concentration to continue with wisdom development. Number 2.
Number 2. I practice by chanting Buddho and watching my body breathing. After watching my breath for a while, my breath gets deeper and slower by itself. Not sure if I'm controlling myself.
It's not difficult to see if you're controlling yourself or not. If you're doing it, your mind will feel uncomfortable and cramped. You have been breathing casually since you were born. But when you think about practice, you try to control our breath so you'll feel uncomfortable and stuffed. So, whenever you feel tight, that means you're controlling it. Right concentration is not what you're practicing now. You're pushing your mind higher up. Can you see that? Can you see it? You're pushing it like this. Open your eyes to see. I'll make my face to show you. You're pushing it like this. I'm doing the same thing as you. Can you understand now? See, your current mind and the previous one is not the same. Good concentration is here, not in the air like previously. Your mind got used to your previous state, and it was stuck there without wisdom development. Let your mind stay with yourself like this. Now it's bright and light. Not stressful and wrong like previously. Let your mind be like this, and now watch the body. You'll see that it is not yourself. Watch it with the upright mind, and you'll see that the body is not the mind and is not yourself. Then, whatever thought arises, just see that all thoughts come and go. Not yours and not yourself. Keep watching like this and your mind will develop. If you push your mind like previously, it can't develop. Number 3. Number 2. Now your mind is lost. It is lost in thoughts. Are you aware of it? Just be mindful and don't neglect your body. Whenever your body moves or breath, be mindful of it. If you neglect your body, your mind might float in the air like previously. See, now your mind is returning to that state again. Number 3.
Number 3. When I practice sitting meditation, my mind becomes empty, my body disappears, there's only a knower remaining. But when my mind touches the body, then form appear. I watch that form alternatively, with the empty mind, the restless mind, and the desire to control. I used to watch my body's posture, but now whatever phenomena arises, I just watch it. Please give me some advice.
When we're proficient with our practice, there's no more preference to watch the body or the mind. Whatever mindfulness is aware of, everything shows the 3 characteristics. However, you haven't reached that point yet. Your concentration is not enough, and your mind is still restless. So you need to have a base for your mind to stay with. Don't neglect this base. You can watch your breath or the movement of your body. Or just chant Buddho as your base. Let your mind stay with the base. And whenever there's sensation through the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or change in the state of your mind, then you can see it easily. Then you'll be able to see phenomena that come and go slowly. Not phenomena that keep coming and coming all the time. Now can you notice that everything just comes from all directions all at once? You don't even know from which, direction something is coming from. But if you have enough concentration, you'll be able to see something coming and going away. So, just stay with your base, but don't force your mind. Let your mind stay with it and be aware of it as it is. Number 4.
Number 4, I practice mindfulness and being aware of my body. While I listen to Dhamma, sometimes rapture arises. I also see my mind changing. Sometimes I see flickering phenomena inside and I can't sleep. When my mind has no more energy, I start my practice again. Please advise.
Just practice like that. Even if you can't sleep, it's okay. You can nap during the day. It's good that you're practicing naturally. But every day you need to practice. Otherwise your mind won't have enough energy. Number 5.
Number 5. I practice by sitting meditation in the morning and before going to bed for 30 minutes to 1 hour. During the day I used to chant Buddho, but my mind became hard. So recently I just have mindfulness and feel it's lighter. Is what I'm practicing now in accordance with your way of teaching?
Even I don't know what my way of teaching is. I don't have any specific way. Just be mindful and leave aside some time for a formal practice. In your daily life, just be mindful in the present. Be aware of phenomena that all come and go. Number 5. Can you notice that you're controlling your mind? Initially, it's okay to try to control your mind. You can't just let go freely like me yet. It's going to take time for practice first. Can you notice that the more you try to control it, the more it feels stuffed? But if you don't control it, it gets completely lost. So, control your mind a little bit, but be aware that you're controlling it. Be mindful and see your mind work. Sometimes if you can't watch your mind, then watch your body instead. Please try smiling. Do you see your body smiling? Just feel it. You don't need to see in the mirror. Please try making a stern face, as if you're very angry. Can you feel your face moving and your body moving? Can you feel that your mind loves your body and loves beauty? It's not wrong. Your mind loves your body, so use it as your base meditation. Be aware of it whenever it moves. Just be mindful relaxingly. Don't over-focus and don't watch it stressfully. As you practice, whenever something arises in the mind, you can be aware of it. Also, you will see that the body is something known and is not you. All thoughts are also something known and not you. With more practice, you'll see that yourself doesn't exist. Now you're putting your mind in a meditative state. If you want calm meditation, you can rest so. If you enter calm meditation and still see something flickering inside, that is okay. It's developing wisdom in concentration. After you exit from concentration, be aware of your body. See the body breathing standing, sitting, etc. You can do calm meditation, as you're doing now. Now you're making your mind tipsy. Don't make your mind tipsy. But if it becomes soft by itself before entering concentration, that case is fine. But if we sit and make our mind soft and tipsy, this is not good. It's a wrong concentration filled with delusion, so be careful of this point. After you exit from concentration, be aware of your body immediately, whether it's breathing, standing, sitting, etc. Number 6.
Number 6. Every day I notice the change of my mind. And I practice sitting meditation. If my mind concentrates, I let it be. Otherwise, I just have mindfulness in the present, but I notice that I still focus too much, which is from familiarity with my old practice. Please give me some advice.
Continue what you're doing. It's okay and gradually improving. But if you focus too much, nothing will improve. Can you notice that you're starting to see the movement and changes? But if you just focus in stillness, nothing moves. And you can't develop wisdom. Your mind is familiar with getting into concentration and getting tipsy. It goes tipsy like this. Just be aware of it when it moves out and becomes tipsy. If you can't see your mind, then just watch your body. The mind goes away, but the body never goes away. It's always there. Number 6. You've gotten used to making your mind still. It does so by itself. Be aware of this point whenever it does so. It's at this point that your mind goes away. Are you aware of it now? If you are of it, it's okay. Number 7.
Number 7. I uphold the 5 precepts, chant and practice meditation every day. I'm able to relinquish some bad habits, but I can't get into concentration. Please advise me the meditation method that is suitable for me.
Your mind is fierce and serious. Practice compassion meditation. And you can also chant Metta Kunong Arahang Metta. Practice and your mind will be cooler and calmer. We don't practice meditation with a fierce mind. Just use your normal mind and practice compassion regularly. Then you'll be able to see the phenomena more clearly. But if you practice with such fierce mind, you'll also be fierce towards defilements. You'll want to fight the defilements to death. But there's no need to do so. It's too tiring. Just practice compassion meditation for your mind to be cooler. And then whatever phenomena arises, just be aware of them. We won't have to relinquish the defilements. As soon as mindfulness arises, defilements are extinguished. So if we're practicing correctly, there's no defilement to relinquish. Just be aware whenever desire or anger arises and then extinguished. There's nothing more to relinquish. Once your mind is calm, be aware when anything foreign comes into your mind. Then we'll see that all phenomena come and go. And at this point we're developing wisdom. We don't practice exhaustingly like that. There's nothing to fight, nothing to relinquish. With a calm mind, we just see that everything temporarily come and go. Now your mind has gone away. Just practice compassion meditation relaxingly. Don't push the compassion outward. Just breathe and think of compassion. Then your mind will be happy and the power of compassion will arise. While you're still chanting, it's not compassion yet. It's just a trick to be calm. After your mind becomes calm, compassion automatically arises. But don't be attached to the calmness. Instead, be aware of the fabrication and changes that come in as foreign to your mind. Can you remember my teaching? Condition your mind to be soft, natural and comfortable with compassion meditation. No, don't fabricate your mind like that. If you force your mind like that, your mind won't be calm and happy. Just breath, and think of compassion, or chant Metta Kunung Arahang Metta. But don't let your mind be tipsy. When your mind calms down, true compassion will arise. While you're chanting, there's no compassion yet. But it arises once your mind is calm and happy. We can see our body as just another animal. So we also have compassion towards it. We also see that our mind is tired by defilements passing by all the time. So we'll also have compassion towards the mind itself. We don't hate our mind and body. First, we see our body and mind as another animal, that we have compassion towards them. Then we see that the body and mind are not ours. But we see them as another animals, that we should be compassionate for them. Don't fabricate your mind like that. Now you're fabricating it to be still. Just see the body breath and chant calmly. Now is okay. This state of mind is good. Can you feel that your mind is now soft and calm? This mind is having happiness in Dharma. It just sees foreign phenomena come and go. Once your mind has strengthened, just watch the phenomena with mindfulness. We'll see everything as pitiful. This body and this mind are cumbersome. Just have compassion in your heart, and your Dharma practice will be harmonious. Now is not correct. Don't fabricate your mind to be still. Just breath casually and chant the compassion chant. Continue to practice like that, and your mind will enter the middle way. Don't be too harsh. Number 8.
Number 8. I practice every day for 15 to 30 minutes. By chanting and watching my breath, I see thoughts that arise as sound in my head. When it subsides, I then watch my body, but it won't be calm for long. During the day, I watch the moving body and the thoughts that appear. Please advise what I should do next.
Be mindful, but don't think too much. You're contemplating Dharma too much. Just be aware of your body and mind whenever it moves or work. Don't try to research further. If you do so, your mind will be too restless. So, just be mindful. And if there's nothing to watch, just watch your body breathing out and in, or see your body walking. Then, whenever your mind, your nose, eye, nose, tongue or body senses anything, and there's any changes, just be aware. Do practice regularly. Right now your mind is a bit too restless. Number 8. Questions done. Those who are sitting here. Do you understand what I'm teaching? Be aware of what is behind our thought. Sometimes we think nicely, but deep down there is defilement behind. When we do merit, do we wish for something in return, or is it altruistic? Merit could help those who wish for something. But worldly possession is always tainted with suffering. Even people with a lot of money still suffer. So, do merit in order to reduce defilement. To be charitable to this world and others, and to reduce selfishness. We can do merit whenever we have the chance. But if no chance, then don't worry. Sometimes when people donate money to me, I collect them and further donate to hospitals in need. Mostly hospitals, not temples. I'm not saying that we shouldn't donate to temples. But right now, there are so many people suffering. There's no need to build something new right now. Our first priority right now should be to help people in need. As for preserving Buddhism, I teach you the correct Dharma to preserve Buddhism. I don't request for donation in order to build anything. People have constructed many temples, but they can't keep up with maintenance. So, they have to find some ways to invite people, or sell amulets to have more money. If you ask whether temples are necessary or not, they are necessary. And maintenance is also necessary. But if we only focus on buildings, We may not focus enough on training real Buddhists. In the future, the constructions are nothing, merely a travel destination. So, there will be temples and tourists, but no more Buddhists left. We can see this in several countries that still have Buddhist landmarks, but no more Buddhists. So, the way to preserve Buddhism is not through more construction, but through training Buddhists to know real Buddhism in their hearts. For true Buddhists, it's not difficult to preserve Buddhism. Their mind wants to preserve Buddhism and temples automatically. Here in this temple, we never request for donation. Our people are always willing to help. I often have to stop people from doing too much. When we make merits, choose what merit will be most beneficial. Since we have limited resources, I mean merit that will be most beneficial to other people, not to yourself. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that we shouldn't make merits with temples. Several temples are also in dire need for donation. It's not correct to let buildings be in a poor state. We have many temples, but very few monks in each temple. The amount of monks are barely enough to clean the temple grounds only. So, the first priority is to teach correct Buddhism in the people's mind. Once we have become true Buddhists, we'll know what is correct or not correct. What is the priority? For example, between helping a drowning person and constructing a Buddha statue, what should we do first? If people are starving, but we just go ahead with request for donation, is it correct? That's all for today.